Police in Miami Beach arresting about 150 people over the weekend as spring breakers descended on Florida. Got a little crazy in some spots. Governor Ron DeSantis, a frequent target of media criticism for not enforcing stringent coronavirus restrictions, says his state is in top economic shape, in contrast to places like California, which has had some of the toughest lockdowns in the country for months. But what about the rest of the numbers? Let's discuss with Florida GOP Vice Chairman Christian Ziegler and Fox News contributor Mark Thiessen. Great to have both of you back with us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Good to be with you, Shannon.
All right, Mark, we know the economy is stronger in Florida. They did not have the same kinds of lockdowns that somewhere like California did. But what about the case numbers, the death toll? How do these states compare? What do we know?
They're pretty much dead even. I mean, we were talking before the show. I was in Palm Beach, and I felt like I jumped over the Berlin Wall and ran and came into freedom. It was like, the state was open. There were people shopping and people going to restaurants and living their lives. And you would think that, oh my gosh, this is really dangerous. That maybe the COVID case rates are skyrocketing because of this, and maybe the death rates are increasing. But when you look at the numbers, the reality is that they both have almost identical outcomes when it comes to COVID. They both have about 89,000 COVID cases per 100,000 residents, according to the CDC, and they rank in about the middle in terms of the country, in terms of 8,900, yeah, 8,900 per 100,000 residents. And Florida was 27th in terms of death rate, and California was 28th. The difference is that Florida is completely open, and the governor of California, Kim Jong-Newsom, has imposed a Stalinist crackdown on businesses. I mean, people can't go out. They shut down beaches, outdoor dining, schools. You have kids who are who are basically having learning losses that are going to reduce their lifetime income, particularly poor and minority kids. So the costs of the COVID outcomes are the same, but the costs are just enormous for the people of California. So if I was a Californian, I wish I lived in Florida.
Well, every life that's lost is somebody's loved one who was devastated by that. And these numbers were incredibly tough all across the country. But there are several points by which to measure how states have done coming through this. There are people who say that Governor DeSantis has been he's been callous about the number of people who have died there. And as we highlighted at the beginning of the show, a number of Democratic governors are potentially in trouble over their nursing homes. Well, today on The View, they wanted to talk about how Governor DeSantis should be in trouble as well. Here's what they said.
We're not talking at all about Governor DeSantis in Florida. We're not talking about Governor Abbott, I believe, in Texas. I think it's alleged in Florida that DeSantis has hidden numbers of the deaths there. We're only focused, hyper-focused at this point on Governor Cuomo.
Christian, your response to that?
Yeah, look, Ron DeSantis has done a fantastic job throughout this crisis, and what it has done is it has terrified the left because he has quickly skyrocketed to front-runner status for 2024. Once he gets through his reelection in 2022, the whole nation is looking at his leadership. And what we've seen with Ron DeSantis, our businesses aren't closed. You can go out there and open your doors. Employees can walk in those doors and earn a paycheck. Our kids have actually been in school since August. They've had access to in-person learning in the classroom. Tourism's boosted. You look at housing prices and the housing market, the inventory is so low because people are moving here. So Americans are showing across the board his results are being rewarded because people are moving here and they're showing that with their feet. And in Florida, look, we have freedom here. We're actually living a normal life. And we encourage everyone, look, if you're watching this show and you're in one of these Northeast blue states run by some leftist liberal, and you're wearing like 3 masks sitting on your couch watching the show and you just want to go outside and enjoy life, we want you to move to Florida. Look, if you're going to vote Democrat, please stop at the state lines because we want you to remember why we are free. But that's Ron DeSantis' leadership in Florida. And if you look at just our numbers, we're 20% lower with people 65 and up talking about deaths. 20% lower than California. We're 50% lower than New York. And that's even with their numbers not fully being out there. So Ron DeSantis has done a fantastic job. We're in better shape because of it. The country is taking note. And the liberals and the leftist media are now going to start attacking him like crazy because of it.
Mark, quickly, do you think they're afraid of Governor DeSantis?
Oh, very much so. I mean, look, if you think about this, the governor of New York is facing impeachment. The governor of California is facing a recall, and Governor DeSantis is being talked about as the next president of the United States. I think that pretty much says it all. The Democrats have absolutely they have had none of the benefits of keeping public health achievements in terms of keeping people healthier and safer and having better outcomes, but they've done enormous damage. I mean, we talk about the COVID deaths, and look, my mother had COVID, 92 years old. She was in the hospital in New York and was put into a nursing home with COVID. So I know about this, but there are also huge costs. We just saw statistics. I think there's a 300% increase in self-harm among children. Kids are suffering depression. Poor and minority kids are losing. They're going to lose, according to McKinsey, up to $84,000 in lifetime income from irreparable learning losses. These are the prices of the lockdowns. And so, you know, you're right. At some point, we're going to look back and we're going to say who did it right and who didn't.
Well, Governor DeSantis has plenty of critics, but he seems to enjoy taking them head on, like another famous GOP guy that's been around the last few years. Christian and Mark, thank you both.